the Martinliedtke channel. Hi guys, I'm glad you could be here today. Hope you enjoy this video. Today we're going to be looking into the extra strange history of the town of Salem in Massachusetts, starting with the very weird, and I think a warning from history, Salem witch trials. And we're going to learn together some things that I think you may not have known. So the Salem witch trials happened in 1692 in the village of Salem, Massachusetts. A wave of fear gripped a puritanical community. The claim that several young girls were affected by witchcraft. Mass hysteria ensued, and over 200 people in such a small community were arrested and put to trial, 19 of which were hung. Even a man called Giles Corey, just for refusing to give evidence. Now we can see from the list of hanged people that there were not really any young people hung in the Salem witch trials, which is contrary to what all of the documentaries and movies that I've ever watched on the subject say. I was under the impression that it was hysterical teenage girls that were thinking they were witches, but that's not the case. In fact, the youngest to have been hung was 33. And the oldest was 77. Well, let's just have a quick look at the list of the hung. You can see that they are predominantly older people and predominantly female. Let's have a look. Bridget Bishop here. Bishop, 60. Sarah Good, unfortunate name for a witch. I don't think any of them were witches. I think this is a warning from history, guys, about the mentality of lynch mobs and fear-driven justice, which is being repeated on the streets of Britain in the very modern day. Elizabeth Howe, 57. Susanna Martin. Oh, it's nice to see my name in the old world. 71. Rebecca Nurse, 65. Sarah Wilds, 40. This is the weird one. The 33-year-old George Burroughs says female. George Burroughs was a female. Okay, whatever. Martha Carrier, 72. George Jacobs, 72. 60-year-old John Proctor. John Willard, 35, a male. Martha Corey, 72, who was wife of Giles Corey. She was also hung for not giving evidence. It's a bit of a kangaroo court. Mary Eastie. Alice Parker, Mary Parker, 55, 40. You can see there's no young women involved here, not really. Well, 40 is young, but you know, I mean, teenage. 7, Ampudita, 70. Wilmot, Reed, 50. A 77-year-old Margaret Scott, Anna Samuel Wardwell, 49, was a male. All in September and August and July. So it must have gone absolutely crazy that year in Salem, Massachusetts. A lot of finger pointing, a lot of wah. They did it. Now, this is really what we're seeing on the British streets, isn't it? You get these different sides. Nobody knows what they're on about, really. And they all point at one another and go, wah. And the other side go, wah. And this is nothing more than fear. Fear of replacement, fear of what the media are telling them, fear of, it's an instinctive fear, isn't it? Ugh, you take my woman, ugh, fear. And danger of fear-driven justice is definitely something that we should watch out for. And I myself personally do not jump on any bandwagons and lynch mobs. I've seen these in operation in the past in my own community, and they always end badly for everyone involved. So, and there were no young people involved in the Salem witch trials, but whatever happened in this community was just fear and kill them. So something's going on with this city though, guys, because if you get to more recent times, well, in the First World War, in 1914, you find that the entire city of Salem is completely destroyed. And not only that, guys, it's the biggest urban disaster in American history. Were you taught about that in school? Probably not. So, a modern inquiry into witchcraft and persons guilty of the crime. So, the parameters for being a witch are usually eating healthily. She goes jogging in the morning, and she doesn't eat stones. She eats wheat, and it's really strange. So, yeah, it's just that really strange mentality of people doing different stuff to what they're doing, basically. If this, if this was a thing in the modern day, Christ, everybody I know would have been burnt at the stake. That's what they do. Salem, Massachusetts is a beautiful city. It's Tartarian-esque. It's got a castle for a railway station, as you can see, but a lot of wooden buildings in its early photography. But this is like a castle. Choo-choo. Yeah, beautiful city. And this is apparently one of the people of Salem have scratched their name on a school desk, which I've done myself. This one says Palini, maybe, in the year of 1796. Not 1692, the Salem witch trials. The Salem, Massachusetts Normal School, which suggests that they may have abnormal schools in Salem. Do you know anybody who's gone to a school in Salem? No? I do, my friend. Have a look at the architecture. It is absolutely stunning. This is the academy by all accounts, and they have some sort of bell tower and these beautiful buildings in the old world. And if this is not a mud flooder, I will eat my hat. These lower windows were the same height as these windows in the past. You can even see a little window under this portico and stairs. Why? Just massive houses as well. People had a lot of space back then. Look at this town hall. I'm guessing it is very Tartarian-esque with the Munster style roof. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, see, low windows here. But I give it credit. It's a fair old infrastructure. The roads look awesome. And look at this for, they say 19th century, built in the 1800s. Wow, it's just a castle. And it's been revamped. It looks so unlikely to be a railway station, a railway train coming out of it. It's like, what? So, yeah, the disaster that hit was the biggest disaster. Apparently started in a tannery. The fumes from the manufacture of leather goods and the stuff that they use for development of photographs is highly ignitive, apparently went up and burnt the entire city. Now, the city had a wave of fire 2 miles wide and 1.5 miles long that swept through the city. The residents apparently got time to pack up their bags, apparently, sit on the riverbank and watch their city burn. Echoes of San Francisco. Well, San Francisco isn't the biggest urban disaster because they class that as a natural disaster because they say there was an earthquake when there wasn't. There was a fire. But this is the biggest urban disaster in American history in June 25th, 1914, the burning of Salem. There's a lot of what looked like high-rise residential apartments here, which is also for 1914, quite advanced, isn't it? But the city is literally erased. Gulp. Now, there are anomalies which I would associate with Fauchet's weaponry, is that everything is falling in his footprint. The roads are completely clear of any rubble. Everything is literally dustified. I'm sure if a building built in the modern day was to burn, there would be a big stack of rubble and bits of this and bits of that. It's not the case in these. There's literally nothing left except for foundationary walls. Roads are clear and trees Don't seem to be too affected. There's only the one there visible and one there which haven't burnt down. A lot of trees in the distance. So have a look at them. And this church here stood as well, but did get damaged. It looks like it might be a graveyard. So yeah, it is mind-boggling destruction, very synonymous with what you see for Hiroshima or the firebombing of Tokyo, firebombing of Hiroshima too. So yeah, like a really large proportion of the city was destroyed, guys. And usually the business financial districts are going up in flames. You find this for, well, both Portland's and St. John's and, well, every city in America that's been burned, including Chicago and San Francisco. Rescued household goods. So they had time to get their goods out of the Great Salem Fire. Middle of summer, apparently it was baking hot, made everything like a tinderbox. They had enough time to get their mattress dragged down the road, though. Everything looks groovy in the background. Look, trees, the leaves. Oh, right. Them trees might have been scorched. There should have been leaves on them. Forest River Park, camp for the homeless. So they set up FEMA camps in no time at all. We've seen the same thing in San Francisco, but it's still smoldering in the center city, but everything else is completely gone, guys. Don't you find that like really, really spooky? And exactly the same place as the Salem witch trials. The station itself, absolutely obliterated, as you can see, the castle, or the New French Church, as this is called. Excuse me. It did look like the castle, and these look happy enough, though. She looks happy enough. She's got a leather settee, a leather chair out, and a lot of the goods. So they did have time. Maybe if the fire was down the road and you could see it coming, you could get all your stuff out and put it in a spot where there's no fire, like this. Get your chairs and your tables, your bed, mattress. But look at these buildings. They're massive. Completely gutted. Wow. It's mind-boggling. Yeah, look at these on the riverbank. So all of the industry taken out. But again, there are a lot of trees and clear roads, man. There's no rubble in the roads. Ruins on Leach Street and Lafayette. Wow. It's funny the chimney stacks stay in place. Trees are all groovy. Roads seem clear. But everything's just falling its footprint. This one has a lower cellar, as you can see, always sort of exposing mud flood, if you ask me, on some of these events. Another panoramic of the destruction. And Captain Latimer's Commissary Department, Refugee Camp, Forest River Park, Salem, Massachusetts. They've got planks down. They got it all set up pretty groovy there. And a pot of stew on the go. Awesome. Funny the fire stack stayed up. So this would have been what? The fireplace for what? An upstairs building? I don't get how this is working. Maybe that's the fireplace because they're not scorched or anything. But they're definitely chimneys. It's like a forest of chimneys. Wow. Must be industrial chimneys. I don't think they're domestic. There's the church, completely gutted. Look at the size of these buildings. This is in Washington Street. These trees are bit the dust. They're really close to the buildings. Wow, haunting. And again, you can see the lower levels. You know, the mud flood is definitely the city's old world, and this is why it's been eradicated. That's why all of them get eradicated. It's the obliteration of Tartaria. This is a Tartarian city, man. And I wouldn't even be surprised if the Tartarian narrative was cut in with what happened with the lynch mobs of the Salem witch trials. Check this out, though. How much calamity can happen to one small city is just beyond me. And there's a church. There's light shining through. Very haunting indeed. Refugees. So yeah, thousands of people were left, 10,000 people plus were left homeless, and they had refugee camps for them. And And then I bet they built it all back better. Wow, such a scene of devastation. It's like some spooky war movie, but there wasn't a war, was there? Right. Look at the architecture, the size of the stones, of the heated and bubbled, spat off the outside covering. I'm not even sure if that is even impossible in a conventional fire, guys. I'm not a fire expert, but I should actually become a fire expert because that doesn't ring true to me. What temperatures would be needed to do that bubbling of stones beyond me? Anyway, you can even see wattle and daub still intact there, which is sticks. So I didn't get that bit. And here are some top hatters and residents of Salem. I wonder if they're as hysterical as their ancestors. Just, hang them all! Hang them all! We didn't burn him. Ooh, Captain Latimer's commission. Yeah, there's a better picture. So they got loads of stew on the go, loads of soups, little chimney stacks. Everybody's clean and tidy. And they got some Chinese people here. Chinese. Yeah, Chinese people they look like, and they're cooking a munch. So I bet that's nice. But that's a brilliant photograph. Wow, look at that. So yeah, that's fire stopped by there. These chimneys are massive. They got the guards out, National Guards, because looting, etc. They did the same thing and brought in martial law on the streets of San Francisco. They did the same like over here. And they should have a quarantine as well, because they always have a quarantine after a natural or a disaster because of disease. Then trees and then buildings are okay. This lot has been taken out, but the barber, he's carrying on. He's got his tartaria barber's pole, and he's carrying on. Cool enough. There's a refugee camp. So the women are doing their washing. That's okay. They got old tubs there going on. Keep nice and clean. It's beautiful summer, so you could sleep outside. The kids are running around. So yeah, all Irie at the refugee camp. Derby Street, Salem. Okay. It's a bit muddy, that street, isn't it? You can see a bit of devastation. The poles are all intact, though. A spooky perspective of somebody taking that photo that long ago. Why would they do it? Ruins of orphans' home. I will hope the orphans weren't in the home at the time. There's a box or a chest out on the forecourt. I wonder who that belonged to. And that is completely gutted. There is nothing left of the orphanage. And St. Margaret's Church it is. And it must have been a beautiful church. There's not much. The structure is intact, but everything else is completely gutted. Wow, just mind-boggling. And here's that railway station. I haven't got any pictures of that devastated, but I'm guessing that it was. What a beautiful railway station. Wow, never seen anything like it. I think it's there in the modern day too. Choo-choo. So yeah, look at this beautiful Tartarian city that was taken out. All of this here. Go on, look at these Tartarian roofs. It's all mudfloody, electric trams, beautiful trains. My God, what a fabulous place. Such a shame. So yeah, this has been the tale of Tartaria being eradicated. This has been the story of the Salem witch trials, dangers from history of fear-driven justice and lynch mobs, which are all too prevalent in a modern day. They're all so self-righteous. He who lives in a glass house, I think, shouldn't throw stones. And it's not about them. You do you, boo. That's my advice. Anyway, love you all very much. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be back very, very soon with more juicy posts. Let me know what you think about all this in comments. Thanks very much, guys. Stay groovy.